Welcome back to the most unprofessional amateur hour YouTube there is. Because when have you ever dialed into George on Cryptos R Us and saw him eating burritos? What's everybody else eating tonight? You know me, I'm just getting in from work until it's 7 o'clock. One day I'll be an actual 8 to 4 employee, even though I'm supposed to be one. Hopefully, not too many people gave up the Grumpy Dad live stream for Lent. 7 people in here already. That's my clickbait work, I guess. I don't know. 8 people are, look, usually it takes me 30 minutes to get this high. Anybody who's new, I appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button. For those of y'all who are new, I'm sorry. It's tradition here that I eat in front of the camera because I'm normally getting home. And so I am, always eating in front of the camera. Usually it's pizza. But my daughter made tacos and soft shell tacos, burritos, whatever you want to call them. And I was trying to hurry up and get done before the video started, but sometimes I'm eating jambalaya, sometimes I'm eating red beans and rice, and that's just part of the live. Like I said, amateur hour. What else everybody's doing? How's everything? Odin's here. Mr. Olafson's here. Jay Styles is always first. I appreciate it, guys. Raise your hand if you got rug pulled in the last 3 days. Raise your hand if you saw it coming and you still got rug pulled. I am my own worst enemy. Damn it, Dave. I got rug pulled again. See, you see how this flows into each other? All right, Taco Thursday is done. Couldn't do Taco Tuesday. It was Mardi Gras. Cooked a big pot of jambalaya Tuesday for Mardi Gras. Even though I didn't go nowhere, I sat around the house. It was great. I was a potato on the couch all day. That and doing some things with my mesh tastic stuff. Mostly mesh core stuff. And ate that for lunch today at work, jambalaya, because I had a bunch left over. And couldn't eat it yesterday because yesterday was Lent. So I had fish for lunch. So how's everybody doing on Thursday? Finally figured out how to run a Nubla node. Did you? Odin said he figured out how to run a Nubla node because mine is still down. When I go to my dashboard, I looked at it Monday when I did my Monday update video. I do not see my Nubla. Excuse me, I ate way too fast. I'm gonna be belching through this whole live. Again, the most unprofessional amateur hour live that we have. So let's look at. I don't know if I just have the wrong thing. Nuba, B&B chain. A mistake, referrals, nothing. Which I know I had referrals. That's why I'm. Now it says I have 0 nodes, no airdrop. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm looking at something wrong, if something changed. Because I don't see nothing anymore when I sign in. Unless it's signing into the wrong network. It keeps jumping between Nubla. Why is this doing? Sorry, wrong thing. Try this again. See, like I don't see anything. Look at this. This is beautiful. So I got into my VChain wallet, but now it's going to tell me that it failed to find the address. I have only one VChain wallet. Yeah, I'm not playing with this right now. They're going to make me go drink early. I'm telling you, I like when it started getting that complicated, I just like screw it. You know, are y'all really making anything on this right now? Because from what I understand, the numbers I have, it sucks. The nodes suck. Like, is anybody in here successfully running a node and getting rewarded for it? Let me know, because I have at least one node that I paid for, and then I supposedly won a node from Helium Deploy. If you remember back in like November, I became like second or third or fourth place out of all their influencers or whatever for the most sales, and they said they would get back to us on the prize. And then a month later, I said, well, what's the prize? Oh, we're giving you a Nubla node. This was after everybody knew Nubla was screwed. I'm like, gee, guys, thanks. I'll make sure I strive for the best again. I don't know. 0 monad. But I should. But Odin, shouldn't I still see my Marco? And shouldn't I still see that I have one node that I need to deploy or hook up that I have purchased? Like, I don't see anything. So, damn it, Dave wants to know what rug pulled. So, if anybody has not heard, Flex Time made it no secret that they rug pulled. And for those people who were in that, you know, I know it's a very a-hole move to say I told you so. So I don't know what word to say other than maybe I tried warning you. Um, what's funny is you have people in some of these chats that are still um defending them or trying to say they're going to make it right. I don't know how they're going to make it right. Trying to find. real, like I said, a real professional live person would have had this available already, ready to go. So on the, see if I can find it so I can show it to you. We can all look at it together. Crank Discord, which I got nothing against Crank and Milan Minev or whatever his name is. While I personally don't know him, it's one of those things where the enemy of my enemy is my friend is the guy who was scamming everybody in DFly. Them two hate each other. Me and the guy from DFly that scammed each other hate each other. So it's kind of like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, But here in the illustrious Crank Discord, you have where Flex Time made an announcement basically stating, hey, we supported the project, and since nobody's supporting the project no more, we're going to take all the tokens and run. And basically that's what it was. So C-Man, who's also in the Grumpy Dad Discord, also forwarded this. He's he's also in the Mass Chain. He does a lot with the Mass Chain project and stuff like that. He's not officially with the Flex Time project. But he was a big part of that also. But again, he was not with that that group. I'm trying to find an easier thing. So here we go. We need to share. This is from Flex Time. Now let's do a little history first. Flex Time, I want to say it was a year ago, a little more than a year ago. It was December. And they had the first iteration of Flex Time. And look, this is the same time when all these ESP32 projects were coming out. Right after Entropy and Junk Corn and all these other ones. So here comes Flex Time. And we were actually making pretty decent tokens with it, worth a little bit of money. And me and several guys even bought Flex Time, Flex tokens, whatever you want to call it, when it dumped down. So we were putting our own money into it because the way that the price is jumping around, we actually, I don't want to say we made some good money, because making good money would be, hey, we cashed out when it was up. What happened was they were doing, their reward drop every night. And for us, this was like at 3 a.m. if I remember correctly. Again, this was a year ago. So if I have my facts a little bit wrong, my timing a little bit wrong, you don't have to sit there and correct me and blast me. But it was in the middle of the night for us in the United States, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And one morning we wake up and the liquidity's gone and Flex is shot, basically. And what happened was, and I've discussed it before on my Discord, so y'all who have heard this story before, just bear with me. But I feel like on something like this, you have to give the whole story. So Flex Time version 101.0, they accidentally gave somebody all the tokens. Like, they were supposed to award this much throughout the entire night between everybody, and somehow some guy got all of it. And their excuse was, as soon as they realized it, the guy sold it all. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't sit here and watch my wallets every day get a reward from my projects, right? So therefore, what I would have to say is it's awfully peculiar. Or like if you watch NCIS, there's no such thing as coincidences. But it was just so coincidental that this guy got all the Flex tokens and was ready to press the trigger right then and there to drop it, to drop all of them, to sell them all, move them to Solana, move them to whatever he moved them to. I'm pretty sure he moved them to Solana and to something else. And while they knew who it was, they just couldn't do anything about it. That's BS. But, and then Crank comes in, who they have faith in the project for some reason. I don't know why. I thought it was kind of peculiar also, but again, they're trying to support the project, and they work with, and FlexTime kept saying, hey, we're coming back, and you're going to have to buy NFT, but the people who were already grandfathered in, the people who were in there before got screwed over, can get in for free, and all the stuff like that, and we had to get a license to get in here and all stuff like that, and I didn't touch it after that. I lost my tokens because the new token would be different, and all this crap like that. So, I lost a pretty decent amount of money. I don't remember what it was. I don't want to sit and lie to you because I don't remember exactly how much it was. But I lost because I was buying that token when it went down because it kept going up. And you fast forward. So I had people who contacted me saying, hey, you getting the new Flex? You getting back in? Because I discussed Flex on this channel the first radiation. Well, guess what? Y'all made me look like an ass. Look, I do a good enough job on my own, make myself look like an ass. I don't need help. I definitely don't need a project that, I'm not ashamed to say that I'm not 100% perfect on some of the projects that I have discussed on this channel. But hey, I tell y'all all the time, not financial advice, because, and I've said it many times, we don't know the future of any of these projects. So I can't predict. I'm not Nostradamus, and I cannot predict what's going to happen. I can give you all the information about these projects, what my gut feeling is, and sometimes my gut's right, and my gut's not right. But the thing about it is I go against my own gut. My gut might say, Grumpy, you need to stay the hell away from this. And I'm like, I'm all in. And my stomach saying, no, dummy. But with Flex Time, with the new reiteration, I said, look, y'all burn me the first time. I'm not taking a chance again. I don't care if Crank's behind it. And I never did understand. And if somebody does here, Odin or somebody, some guys that are into some of this stuff more than me, I don't understand what Crank's biggest thing was about bailing them out or helping them. And I don't think they officially bailed them out money-wise. I think it was just like they just helped support these guys to get started again. And part of that was Crank allowed you to add Flex Time to the multi-mining platform of their OS. So that was part of it also. And this seems to also be in line with, I forget if it was again Tech Hustler again, who a lot of people made fun of on this live when he came out with the video talking about, I'm not getting into any more deep in projects that do X, Y, and Z. And one of them was making us buy NFTs. Let's be honest. We don't have a good track record with some of these projects that want us to buy NFTs to get involved in it. It is what it is. I know somebody's gonna get pissed off about that, but it is what it is. It seems like the founders or whoever's in charge of the project's the one making all the money. Whether you want to talk about Entropy, which I love them guys, they're cool as shit. I'd love to go hang out with them one night, even though I'm probably twice their age. I'd love to hang out with them in New York sometime or California or something like that. They're cool as shit. But the facts are the facts. We're making 20 cents a day. I've had NFTs for sale for I don't know how long now on the NFT for sale website. Nobody's touching them. But at least we can say that project's still going. Let's talk about Junk Coin. Junk Coin's in the same boat. Now, you have people in this Discord who are accusing them of the same thing. But let's go ahead and finish this off. So Flex Time says, we need to share an important update regarding the future of this project. Over the past few months, we have allowed Flex holders to freely sell and swap without restrictions. So here you go again. This project, thinks it's bad that you are allowed to gain and sell freely. Where like Junk and Entropy and I'm like, you're not allowed to sell. Let's keep going. To support this, they have consistently added liquidity to the LP using project revenue in NFT sales. So it's not like they were saying, hey, we took it out of our pocket. The project got revenue and it's supported with liquidity and used as liquidity. Oh my gosh, like, isn't that what Helium and Wingbits is planning on doing? Like, isn't that what most projects do? However, in recent months, incoming revenue has significantly decreased while outflows from claims of swap continue. As a result, the liquidity pool has been steadily declining. At this point, the remaining liquidity pool balance is very low, and we do not have sufficient funds to replenish it. Unless new capital enters the ecosystem, the liquidity pool will eventually be depleted. Once that happens, you will not be able to swap Flex for other tokens. We want to communicate this openly ahead of time, so the situation not result the rug or malicious intent. We have consistently used project revenue to support liquidity and keep the ecosystem running. Unfortunately, without new growth, the model is no longer sustainable. It is painful to acknowledge this, but unless circumstances change, the project is likely reaching its end. We are grateful for everyone who supported and believed in Flex. Thank you for part of the journey. So, from what I understand, they sold NFTs and ran. They took the money and ran. It's all gone. Like they said, hey, if something don't change, it's gonna stop. But from what I'm reading, this project's done. If you were holding this, it's done. And that was basically all the update you got. Now we go to junk. I don't officially know this, but I'm just telling you what people have said in the discords. But basically, they're saying, again, I'm saying this again. I want to make sure, let me make myself bigger so I can say so I don't get in trouble. I don't have any official like way of verifying this. I'm just only reporting what I have read in multiple discords regarding the same thing. Junk and Flex were in cahoots. And it's convenient that they both rugged and disappeared at the same exact time. Now, that may be a question. Maybe C-Man can answer that because he was helping out with some of those projects. I don't know. But, when you go now to the junk coin website to go to the junk coin dashboard, which I know some of y'all were in junk. Some of y'all here would participate every Sunday night in the pool where you would burn all these tokens. I thought it was a good thing. You had this pool you could join. You got these NFT multipliers. People wanted my multipliers. I had 25x multipliers. I should have freaking sold them. This is when Grumpy procrastinates, and I keep saying, yeah, I'm going to get to it. Yeah, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to sell these things. And I didn't, and now I'm holding all these NFTs for no freaking thing. But this is what happens when you try to go to Junk Coin now to their dashboard. From what I understand, the Junk Coin server Discord is no more, and this is when you go to the Junk Coin Discord. I'm trying to find. I don't know if any of the Junk Coin guys are even still around in So Crypto Willie was one of them. And I'm gonna tell you, Crypto Willie would get really pissed off when sometimes when I was like negatively talking about Junk Coin. And I got pissed off when and look, it even says in the corner, unable to load profile banner badges. So Crypto Willie must be gone. For both those projects, people hold. I held millions and millions of Junk Coin, and that has also taken a gigantic crap. This is the 1 hour chart. It was at point. It was at five zeros and a 5. It is now at 7 zeros and a 2, maybe. And as you can see down here, everybody's bleeding every little last dollar. Right? I mean, and it says there's $500 of liquidity, but from what I understand, you can't get it out. February 3rd, so we'll be that's 16 days ago. One of these days, there was a day when there was a huge amount take, like, but even like 153 million was only $94. But yeah, there was a day when basically everything got removed. 71 million. 840 was, that must have been right here. 841 million. I don't know. But then the price sucked. But yep. So that's 2 projects right there. And like I said, with junk, we've been known for like 2 or 3 weeks that they were having these issues, and it's completely dead. I have not been a member of the Flex Time Discord since the reiteration that they started a couple months later. But maybe we need to take this as a hint. The next project that comes along that wants us to buy an NFT, but I'll tell you what, but some people argued back then, and they have, I like to try to look at things both ways. I try to be fair. With Flex or with or with junk, you were taking your ESP32, which I don't have one really right here. Mine all plugged in behind me. You had one that was plugged in that you bought for, depending on where you bought it from, $15, $12. Some people got them for like 9. Some people got them for 30. But you bought an ESP32, and that's all it took to get started with the project. So to get your license or to get started, they want you to buy an NFT. If you went and bought a Wingbits token device, or a GeoNet device, or a 4D Sky, or soon with Mass Chain, because when Mass Chain goes full time, you're not gonna be able to use DIY, or you're not be able to add or join with DIY. You're gonna have to buy one of their devices. Their devices are several $100s. So it's an NFT, but at least those are more sustainable deep pin projects. At least we hope. But I don't know, I don't know. Grumpy, I'm tired of looking at attendance. Please tell me what I need. What Jay Styles says, Crypto really was a character. He was. And in the beginning, when he wanted, listen, guys, and please don't take this that I think I'm big shit. I understand. Look, I got 22 people right now, which is a high for me. My last 2 or 3 lives. Appreciate all 22 people here. Please hit the like button before you leave. But I don't think I'm big shit at all. But some of y'all, whoever it was, got to him, and he wanted me. Back then, Entropy was real big, and the Entropy people really supported me. And he wanted me to support his project, and he kept reaching out to me. And he's really supportive at first. And then when I bought NFTs, I used my junk tokens. I didn't realize you couldn't use junk tokens. It ain't like I sold. I have never to this day sold a single junk token, but then I got restricted from doing anything in the project because I had to go buy those tokens back. I don't know. I got pissed off with it, so I didn't cover it on my Monday videos or my Tuesday videos when y'all see it. And he got pissed off at that. And then eventually, I thought the project had promise. I bought junk tokens to replace the junk tokens I sold for NFT. I mean, not sold, but swapped or used for NFTs. And the next thing is, are you gonna start talking about us again? Hey, I see you're mining again. I see you're doing the Sunday night pools thing. You're gonna talk about us again and do this. And then same thing with the Bitcoin. If you remember, we had a video on multi-mining Bitcoin with them and what their plans were for Bitcoin and all this stuff like that. I don't know. I'd like to know. I'm wondering how many people were actively in that project. I'm also wondering, and look, this is when I go off the deep end and put my aluminum foil hat on. What if? Let's play what if. What if, I don't know how many people it was, but how many of y'all, how many the people total? Maybe C-Man would know or something, because I think that's the only person we can really talk to now that was probably even messing with this project. Um, and also, what's his name that also delved in helium? He was messing with this project too, I think. I don't know. One of them was messing with that one. Another one was messing with, but another one. Look, like I'm going off way deep end. But okay, let me finish one more train of thought. What if they really hit a helium block? Because I didn't realize this, but I told y'all about 3 weeks ago when I was going up to one of my last hunting trips. I actually watched a video. I think it was Red Panda Mining. Might have did a video on. He was actually researching how many people are actually hitting with solo miners, hitting blocks, and it was way more than we thought. Follow my train of thought here. What if junk coin actually, because your ESP32 is doing their bidding, if that's the word you want to use. What if one of them ESP32s hit a Bitcoin block, and that's when they shut everything down? What if? I doubt it, but I'm just saying, like, because the whole deal they made was, hey, if somebody does with this multi-mining script that you had to put on your device, hey, if somebody does hit a Bitcoin block, they were going to take that back then it was 300 something $1,000, 400,000, whatever it was, because Bitcoin's was $110,000 at that time. We're going to take that $325,000 or whatever it would be, and we're going to use that for liquidity to boost up the junk token. Maybe they said, screw that noise. We're taking $300,000 and running. I don't know. It's money makes people do crazy, stupid things. But I'll tell you another project. Isn't this a project right here that wanted us to buy NFTs? I never did. But is this another one? How many people are still trying to open the damn box with the cat inside so we can save the cat? God bless our hearts. Is anybody still playing with Irwin? What? Because Irwin's another one. I don't think half the dashboard, nothing works anymore inside of it. Didn't we have to buy NFTs? NFT bidding? Anybody want to buy an NFT? Look, because all three of these projects could have been in freaking cahoots for all I know. So Happy Canadian says, I'm not selling. I guess he's saying the biggest mistake I made. If your balance is nice enough to screenshot, is good enough to sell. Odin thinks, I wonder if these companies were just heavily leveraged in Bitcoin and got liquidated from margin sell calls. I don't know. You think? Because with junk coin, somebody took that liquidity and ran. With FLX, then why sit here and say that they've been using? Why even come up with that whole speech and spiel and stuff like that? Why not blame? Why not just blame it on that? Why not just blame it on due to the crypto price? And that's where we had all of our funds involved in crypto as a way to support crypto, and due to the current market. I have said in the past that think about businesses in whatever town you live in. Each one of y'all, 17 people in here. How many businesses in the town in the last year or 2 years have closed doors? And some of y'all might say, "Man, I really enjoyed that pizza place. It's unfortunately they couldn't get enough support to stay open." man, I really like bringing my dry cleaning there. So unfortunately, they couldn't stand open. Or, hey, yeah, I can't believe Tom's Hardware closed, but he couldn't stay in business because of Home Depot around the corner. It, but yet, when a layer 3 business like some of these projects closes, it's a rug pull. It's we want people arrested and all kinds of stuff like that. Where is there a fine line between rug pull and just, hey, this project's not making it? I guess you mean you rarely see somebody say, you know, well, this project's not making it, guys, so we're closing up shop. No, it's usually something like we just saw where the rest of the liquidity is drained. I mean, nobody's even posting photos anymore on Irwin. So basically, tell me if I'm not wrong here. Entropy is basically the only ESP32 project still standing, unless you're solo mining Bitcoin. Yes? No? Does anybody disagree with that? Jay Styles says that ESP32 has never hit a block and won't, in my opinion, due to difficulty. Those shitty solo miners like BitX and Avalons have. I use my ESP32 for Bitcoin Cash as that is possible. So you got me intrigued because now I have a handful of these Bitcoin devices. I mean, or whatever devices behind me. ESP32 is behind me. So I know that some people were solo mining like Doge and Litecoin and stuff like that, and they have a block every so many seconds, minutes, or something like that. Even though you don't get that many with Bitcoin Cash, how often is that? Um, how often can you hit a cycle with that or whatever it is block? And how many are you getting on that? And is it easier to do that because everybody's trying to solo mine, say Bitcoin or Doge or Litecoin, whatever? Is it easier to do Bitcoin Cash because nobody's playing with it? Odin says many people were betting for the price to only steadily increase. These sharp dips will destroy lots of unprepared. Listen, I agree with that because right now life's kind of crazy, but it wasn't that long ago I was watching a lot of videos from a lot of different people, get a lot of different people's perspective, especially when I was doing these lives. I would actually do some homework and bring it to y'all. You had a lot of people saying, because I will never ever forget somebody, and I don't remember who. Again, I watched a lot of different people videos, but I remember people saying because of this the ETF thing with stocks and all that, that you will never see Bitcoin underneath 100,000 again. So if people, even though that video I'm sure said this is not financial advice, people are still probably longing Bitcoin, thinking you're never going to see it at 90,000, 80,000, 70,000, 60,000. Yeah, I'm never going to see that again. I mean, we hit a local low of 62,000 not that long ago. And like I told you the other day, you look at this trend. This is not a good trend. I mean, think about it. This is basically doing this, right? Is it not? I mean, to a point. Do y'all see a trend reversal coming, even looking at it like this? I don't. I don't see a trend reversal coming. Odin says I would hardly call entropy still standing. It's is lost like 90% of value. I don't disagree with that. Also, again, like I said, I'm still friends with these guys, so I'm trying to keep my words somewhat respectful. Because I know they're still out there working. Even though they did announce that they were going to do this exchange thing, whatever it was called, and you haven't really seen that yet. That was supposed to be coming right around the corner. And, they're still messing with NFTs. Hey, despite you might not like the gimmick, but if when anybody would ask anything about pricing or future pricing or anything in the Discord, their response was always the same. It's nothing. Go look at all the Twitter posts. It's nothing. So to them, if it goes to nothing, hey, we promised you nothing. And part of me was like, while that's a ha funny thing, really it's shitty. But hey, we were getting into a D-pin meme, pink everything thing, and it sucks. I'm not gonna sit there and tell you it doesn't suck. There's nothing I can say that's gonna I'm gonna cover. Listen, you're talking to somebody who a year ago had thousands and thousands of dollars worth of entropy in his wallet. That's worth maybe 1,000 now if I'm lucky on a good day. Because it's another one where I sat here and went along with the gimmick of don't ever sell, you don't ever sell your entropy. If not, the Jeter deleter's coming for you. And I was all telling y'all the same thing. And where are we at now? A wallet with a fraction of the thing. I'm not stupid. I've been in the game long enough. I'm not stupid. They were putting 2,000 miners out. I knew that our rewards would take a hit. Instead of getting 1 million or whatever tokens we were getting a year ago or a little more than a year ago, whatever it was, we were going to take a hit. I'm not stupid. My hope was that the price wouldn't have taken the 90% dump that it did. That's the part I didn't see coming, because they were supposed to be having this all locked down that you couldn't sell. That if you did sell, you were going to get booted and locked down and locked away and all this other stuff. And I don't know if anybody's even monitoring that anymore. Maybe I just need to take the hit. Part of me, I don't want to take the hit because I've sat here and paid $100 for some of these Ashlers. Some I got free. I think I got one for free, if I remember right, as a gift from those guys. But I paid for some of them because there's a guy in here. I don't know if he wants to say who it is. There's a guy in this chat who I sent crypto to, who went to New York at the Solana event and bought my Ashler from me. So the a-holes that are out there saying I got all free Ashlers and I don't care, that's bullshit. And then I paid for another one through Helium Deploy. So y'all, so not all y'all, but the person who keeps saying that and my little troll that's in certain Discords, kiss my ass. Just like they will make comments about me with Nubla. I paid $300 for Nubla. I did a video showing y'all me buying the freaking node, and I still get people attacking me. I don't care. I'm too old to give a shit about that. I know in here what I did right. Accuse me of whatever you accuse me of. I was sitting here live one day on a live reading Telegram, and all of a sudden somebody says, we're sending you a free 4D Sky. Then I'm going to get attacked because I got a free 4D Sky. What you want me to do? Am I pissed off and upset that entropy has lost 90%? I'm not going to sit and tell y'all that I'm not. But they didn't promise anything. They said this shit was going to be nothing. What you want me to say? Part of me, yes, I wouldn't mind selling it. Hey, you look at where entropy is right now, and 6 months from now, it's going to be even lower. And I'm going to say I should have sold it that day I was going off about all this other shit. I mean, you're talking about a project that had $250,000 in liquidity not too long ago. That's down to 47,000. A price that keeps going down, down, down. But then when you go down here and you look, you don't see no big freaking sales. You see 40 cents. Oh, somebody sold 385. So somebody sold 35 million tokens. They should be booted from the project at this point. That's what I want to know. I want to know is this person now booted from the project? I want to. I need to see. I know this is gonna be disgusting. At one point, we were making $40, 40.00, $40 a day with entropy. You want to know what I got right now in my main entropy wallet that I have never, ever, 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 ever sold? The same wallet I'm telling y'all I had thousands of dollars worth of entropy not too long ago. Y'all gonna make me sick. I'm gonna get up right now and go make a drink. $341. That's what I got. Again, people think I don't have a conscience. This is a perfect example of me having a conscience. How can I sit here on a live? How can I sit here on every Monday videos, Tuesday videos, whatever else I do videos and say, don't sell your entropy, don't sell your entropy, and then go right behind your backs and sell your entropy? I've always said I'd never, not that I would ever be on the level of a bit boy, and not that I'm ever going to be doing heroin and dope off my mistress's fake boobs or anything like that. While it does sound like a good time, you know, I can't handle the child support. But my point is, I've always said I would never want to be a bit boy. I'm not gonna. I will never sit and tell y'all go buy this and go buy this and go buy this when I'm behind y'all back selling. Never. I have $341 of entropy left that I have never ever sold. At one point was worth thousands of dollars. Just somebody said a while back, well, you got multiple of those wallets. I sure do. Here's my second entropy wallet. Hey, y'all want to be straight up with y'all? Here's my entropy wallet. $80. I can't even go take my family out to eat with that. But you know, here we are. My point is, we're all in this together, guys. We're all in this together, right? When I started entropy, I didn't have to pay for nothing. About NFTs and stuff. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I wish I even said it back then. I wish I would have bought my NFTs to sell them. Some of y'all sold and dealt NFTs and did very well because some of y'all have told me that. But look at us now. Look at us now. And do we see it recovering? And even though I've held it now for 18 months, if I sold it tomorrow, you don't think people out there be calling me the worst a-hole in the world? Backstabbing a-hole, fat, you know what? Because he told us don't sell, and he went and sold his entropy for $300. So what do I do? There's no point in selling now. I can just buy the tokens. Oh yeah, you can now. But part of the fun was being in the project. Part of the fun was being, getting this sexy Ashler, as they called it, wherever the frick my Ashler went. And guess what? There's many of us, some people in this chat, who along with me were buying those dips of those tokens. And guess what? The price is way higher than it is now. We were talking about, and I even had people ask me to show them how to set up sells and buys, because I had a completely separate entropy wallet. I learned the hard way because one of them got mixed up, and I actually sold a little bit of too much entropy. Some of it was part of it with a mind, and I had to go put it back. So I sat here and made another Phantom wallet, and we would just buy the dips. It didn't sell. It didn't buy the dips and sell. And what happens? Just like right now, this other wallet I told you I had $1,000 worth of Solana in. It ain't worth $1,000 right now because you buy, you sell it and then you buy it, then you sell it, then you buy it, and guess what happens? It keeps going. I know people who took their grass drops 15 months ago, and they got rid of everything. He traded all that grass for entropy. I don't know which one's worth less now. Well, I'll tell you right now, the entropy is worth less because grass right now is only about 30, 40 cents less than what it was when it eventually arrived. The way they felt sick was when it went up to almost $4, and it was originally came out 60 cents. It went to $4. They wish they would have held it. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, when grass drops again, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. No idea. I'm not gonna say a lot of y'all because I've had some of y'all ask me. I think the grass drop whenever it comes will be horrible. I am never right, so don't follow me on that. Not financial advice, because I'm not gonna have y'all sell it right away. Then it goes back up to $4, and y'all gonna say, "Grumpy, you didn't think it was going up." All I keep saying is, we had less than 1 million people in it the first time, and the only people that did very well, supposedly, from what y'all are saying, are people who had a lot of referrals. I didn't have a lot of referrals. I had maybe 20 something referrals, I think, because I had 30 or 31, but 7 or 8 people never went along with it. So I had 22. Again, when I first got the airdrop, it sucked. At 60 cents, it sucked. But when it went up to $4 a piece, it was very nice. Then what I did, I staked it like an idiot. Then it went back down. I don't know what I'm gonna do in grass because I've had some of y'all ask me that because apparently they're talking on X about this is their next drop's coming. I don't know what I'm doing with grass. I what I'm getting at is that we had less than 1 million the first time, and we know that some of those rewards sucked, as some of y'all said. They're claiming, which I think is bullshit. They're claiming that they got 2.6 million people now run. People. That's not including people like me that have multiple devices running grass. 2.6 million people running grass. I don't think that's legit. I'll argue that all day. There's 40,000 people in that Discord. You trying to tell me 2.2 million people are mining that and not in Discord? Bullshit. But anyway, when that next reward gets split, whenever that is, I think that's why they're delaying it. I think those rewards are going to suck. But whenever they do drop, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because we watched it the last time. I think the price, I think when that drop comes, because every time we had an epoch and there was no drop, token drop, you watch the token price go down. I really think that when it drops and people see it's a working project again, the token price may go up some, which doesn't make sense because you would think with everybody selling, the price will go down, but it didn't the first time and people sold. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing for those. So for those of y'all who are asking me in DMs and private message about grass, I don't know what I'm doing yet. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't. I'm kind of like where I'm at with entropy now. Grass is what, 20 cents. I think I would just take the chance of it going down lower. After watching how much it went up the last time, I don't know. You're at 18 cents right now. Last March, you were up to $2.75, and like I said, and as it kept going down, even before we had any of these crazy drops recently, it was going down. It was going down. But like I said, it came out at 63 cents on the first drop. So people who sold up in here, but if you look at it, it never had a price dip. Once it got released, even though you had people selling it right away, you never had a decrease. Let me see. It released on October 27th. So within 14 days, it was up to $3.48. So even though people were selling, it went up until that point. So I'm gonna take the chance of it going up. But I can tell you this time, you let it go up this much again, selling. Grumpy ain't hiding it from you. Grumpy's telling y'all right the hell now that whenever this drops, if I see this price jump up from 20 cents up to $3 or something crazy like that, sold. Put the sign out front, sold. And to be honest with you, what I'll probably do is as it goes up to like 2 something, I'll probably sell a decent amount of it. It gets to 3 something, 3, I'll sell another decent amount of it and just hold on to a little small bag in case it does go to 4. I don't see it, but you know, this grass has been a weird project since day one, has it not? It's always been this weird group of people behind the project, and it's always had like the I've always talked about the Discord was one of the most toxic, craziest Discords that I have ever been. Even to this day now, years later, the most craziest. There's always new admins and new mods because the same people leave. I mean, I think the mods just leave because they're sick of being attacked all the time for not going. Excuse me, not going to what now you want to call it, TG second airdrop or whatever you want to call it, rewards. I think it's just this project has just been weird. If I told y'all right now, if I sat right here and said, "Hey guys, I have a project for y'all. Y'all want a new project to get into? It costs nothing to get in, but I want you to put your time and effort to it, and hook this program up to y'all's computer. But look, I'm telling y'all right now, this is going to be an excellent project. You ready? The only catch is we're not going to pay you for it. We're not giving you rewards, and we're not paying you for 18 months. How many of y'all gonna be like, screw you, dude? Smoking crack. But grass thinks that we're supposed to be okay with it. So, November, December, January, February, March, April. So if April comes, you're looking at 18 months since our last reward with that. And we're supposed to be cool with that. I don't understand why they can't just pay up monthly. Like what's the big thing? They got to come out with their own wallet. Why? Solana's got 100 wallets out there, hundreds of wallets, whatever. I'm being sarcastic, but we will come out our own device. Why? Why do you need your own grass device? You just said you got 2.6 million people allegedly mining this project. Why do you need to come up with your own devices? 2.6 million people found a way to do it. What's the project? We're talking about grass. Wait, let's see. I'm telling you right now, Jay Styles, I showed in a video. I want to say it was a lie, but it might have been the grass. One of them times, if you remember when I was going off and having those tangents going crazy on grass in my Monday, Tuesday videos, I went back, I screenshot it somewhere. I can't go find it now because I don't know if it was on my computer here or my computer at work. I screenshotted where they said 2.6 million people. No joke. I'm not lying to y'all. found some pictures. Season 2 doesn't have to be 16 months. This is when somebody said, bro, season 1 was 16 months. So season 2 will be only about 1 plus or minus 1 year. What the we shot past that, didn't we? No. I was hoping that was my pictures of my screenshots from when they said that. 2 million participants is the word they used. Participants. And I sat here and said, ain't no way, homeboy. And I brought up the argument that there's only 40,000 people in their Discord. And they said, yeah, but those other people are from countries that don't allow Discord. I'm like, really? Is that what y'all going with? I covered all in the video, and I showed that in the video. Jay Styles says what I've been saying this whole time. The grass drop might not be that bad, but it's so long since the last one that most will forget that it isn't that good for over a year wait. I've been saying that. They're going to get this huge bulk of tokens and think this was one of the greatest projects that they've ever been in. But when you divide that by I'm cheating with the calculator because I failed college math. But 18 times 365 days. No, that's not right. 18 times 30. So that's 540 days. When you divide whatever chunk you get by 540, you're going to see how bad this project was. Or it wasn't. But I agree. And I'm going to try to say this without sounding like a condensing, whatever the word is, a-hole. But looking at some of the people or the way they talk, you could tell that English is not their first language. How about that? You could tell they probably come from, a country that's probably not as good as some of these other countries. I'm trying to put this as nice as I can. But one point is, they're also mining grass, and I'm sure that money is going to be damn, whatever rewards are, they're going to be damn good, damn good rewards. And I'm happy for them. Completely happy for them. But when I'm trying to compare this to what we're making on the lifestyle that we have, first world country, I guess. I mean, I hate that just sounds condescending, and I don't mean it like that. Y'all know I help people all around the world. I help people in Africa and stuff like that, and to get online, to be successful, do whatever they got to do. So don't take that the wrong way. I'm just trying to say, but for those people, that money is going to be great. They're in a project that gives them the opportunity to get those kind of rewards, and I'm happy for them. But I agree. I just think this project is going to, when you do the math of how long 18 months is going to be, it's going to suck. And again, and I think it's all a game. I think it's all a gimmick. I think that's why they don't want to pay us for for every month. I got 25 people in here right now. God, I don't know what the hell I'm doing or what people are spreading, but thank y'all very much. Everybody who's here, make sure you hit the like button. 26 is probably all-time high. Thank y'all very much. We're talking about grass and rug pulls and everything else. Let's see what else I missed. Grass sucks. I just need to win one Bitcoin block to make up all these losses. Hey, I agree with you. I keep saying I'm planning on getting I want to play the lottery too. Hey, I play the lottery around here. When Powerball goes up to $1 billion or, $750 million, I'll stop at the gas station, buy a Powerball ticket. Not financial advice. Definitely not financial advice. But I'll buy, especially my wife's like, don't come home without a Powerball ticket. What sucks is Uncle Sam's going to take half of that. Don't get me started on that. That's why I've always said I could talk negative about anything. That's why they call me grumpy. I can find a negative anything. I could win the lottery and find a negative. The negative is the feds in the state are going to take half of it. That they don't deserve half of that. And what do you think they're going to do with it? You think that if I knew they were going to do something promising, feed some homeless children, feed some homeless vets, and get psych help for people that need it, or do something that I think is a good thing. I ain't gonna say I would have a problem with it, but I have less of a problem with it. But they're not. It's gonna go to something stupid, right? Um. Oh, what's up, y'all? Project Best Cool Meta 4 looks like a silent winner for the next cycle. Daddy Grumpy, you're paying. Oh, it's Glenn. Dude, I told you what intended to buy. If you want for mass chain, there's basically two trains of thought with mass chain. If you want the number one marine antenna that has been the number one marine antenna since I was a small kid growing up on the water, everybody had 8-foot Shakespeare antenna. I always joke Shakespeare in Love from that movie, scary movie when they made fun of Shakespeare. The 8-foot Shakespeare fiberglass antenna is by far the number one marine antenna for the last 40 years for a reason. If you don't want to spend $100, then you look up marine antennas or marine AIS antennas. Don't get the little 18-inch stubby antennas. That's trash. But Shakespeare has a 3 or 4-foot one. Again, it's not going to be as good as the 8-foot. Some people's wives don't want an 8-foot antenna in their yard. I can understand that. They have 4-foots and 3-foots. And Tram also has a fiberglass one because I've seen people here buy it and show it to me. And there is a stainless steel whip one, Tram AIS type antenna. That's 3 or 4 foot. I can't remember exactly, which is significantly almost pretty much half the price, if not less than half the price of the Shakespeare 8-foot. That's it. I'm gonna tell you, I have 2 instances of mass chain running. Neither one of my antennas are a true marine antenna. I have one on my buddy's tower where my Wingbits also is. He happened to have a client that left a VHF and feline. VHF, the actual commercial grade, like you see on top of towers, the ones, the metal ones with the big bow tie dipoles on the end. It was a VHF. It was rated for, I want to say like 150 to 165 megahertz, and it does phenomenal. And what I think is going to be my luck is nobody is adding VHF radios and repeaters these days. So I'm hoping my stuff can stay up for the next 2 or 3 years. Nobody's coming and taking a VHF or putting a VHF in the air. They're going 700, 800 where we're at. Maybe still some UHF, or they're going even higher than that. The other antenna I'm using in Baton Rouge for mass chain is a antenna that we were throwing away at work. We had a box of antennas that somebody gave us years ago. We don't use anything VHF really at work, at least not with the big NMO whips that are like stupidly long. So I took one, trimmed it down with a SWR meter, and trimmed it down to 161.05 or whatever the AIS frequency 1 and 2 are. And it gets a very flat 1.05. I showed pictures of it to 1 SWR. Put it up in Baton Rouge on top of a building, and it sucks. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. It sucks. But guess what? The price was free. And after I had to go buy, which is my luck, but I had to go buy an SDR. And after Grumpy for the first year he was on YouTube, I gave these things away left and right to y'all. And as my luck would have it, now I had to go buy one. I got a third one because I'm about to set up a third station. You know what's holding me up? Take a guess. An antenna. Because I just don't want to go drop $100 on that right now. So you can see where I added. Let me see if I can shrink this back down. My fat head's in the way. I was going from 8 masts a day to 21 masts a day. So apparently my Baton Rouge station is doing better than I was giving it credit for. But I don't get that great of coverage. So what you see right here is, which is very phenomenal. There must be some kind of VHF ducting troposphere stuff going on right now, because I never get anything coming out of Port Fourchon right here. This is Port Fourchon. This is Grand Isle, where I always talk about my Wingbit station. I have never gotten anything this far out. I don't even know how far this is as the crow flies, but this is all from my buddy's tower. All this down here, all this right here, up and you can almost see that there's a cutoff right here where my buddy's tower stops at, and this is what I'm getting in Baton Rouge. That's what it is. So if y'all not mad, I was supposed to cover this in the video. For those of y'all who are in mass chain or thinking about getting a mass chain, you need to check your areas. What it is Baton Rouge is a 2.0 reward bonus. So everything that I'm doing right now in here, and if I can get something a little further, that the good, some reason my Baton Rouge station just has a hard cutoff north of the bridge. But as you can see, where I'm covering right now, I'm getting 2.0s. Now all this down here I'm not, but the Mississippi River, I guess because it's such a big courier, I'm getting 2.0s. So depending on where y'all are, and some of y'all are trying to maybe get in this, but this also goes to show you this, and I've said this repeatedly because some of y'all are like, I don't live next to the ocean. Depending on where you are, look at this right here. Look at this right here. Yeah, so what's weird about it is my station is even about right here. I can get stuff shadowed this direction. This is about as most farthest north as it goes. I don't know why. So I'm about to add a third station down in this direction down here. That's why I bought this one. But again, I'm not buying an antenna. So I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. I think I'll just take a ham antenna and see if that works, because that worked here at my house. So let's see. You want black or white? This is actually on sale right now because this was in 90 something dollars the other day when I looked. This right here is, the only thing is I remember the classic antenna having a chrome piece down here. Maybe I'm losing my mind. Submarine antennas, that's compared to Wingbits. They this is mass chain. This is the marine tracking. This is the Wingbits does the airplane thing, and 40 Sky does the airplane drone thing. We're doing marine stuff with mass chain. So let's see. Like we said, there's a tram marine. And see, just to show you I'm not losing my mind. Here is the Shakespeare classic antenna right here, 8-foot classic, but with the chrome, which I guess is meant to last a little bit more. But as you can see, there's a Ioshock VHF Marine for $69. Have no idea. Has 283 reviews. Can't be that bad. Make sure you do not buy a VHF like this little whip thing. So I mean, with 283 views, the Ioshock can't be too bad. It's 4 foot long. And then we have somebody when I look up Tram Marine antenna, the first one that comes up is a one with 1,400 reviews, 4.5 stars, right here, $54.99. And here's the 35-inch one I was talking about also. So you have these on here also. So just come over here and look up Tram Marine antenna and go read the reviews. Now, the thing about this is a lot of these come with the wire already included, so you have to watch how much wire there. The good thing is with a VHF antenna, you don't have to worry about loss. You can run some pretty long lengths before you have to start really worrying about loss. Now, this is thinner antenna. It's not LMR 400, so I wouldn't go crazy. I wouldn't run 100 feet of this stuff. But the problem is this cable is attached to the antenna with a connector on the end. So if you accidentally nick this wire, your antenna's screwed. So you have to be careful with it. And people have complained that mounting options suck. These things are being made to mount on a boat. Trying to get this to mount on a pole sucks. You almost have to go buy. They have pole mounts. That homemade one I made, I have all kinds of issues with it. I'm trying to see in the bottom if they have any kind of pole mounts or anything like that. I don't see anything, but there you go. There's your options. 619 says layered was $300, right? That is for mesh core or mesh tastic. That layered is the FG9026, which is by far the best, easily the best 915 megahertz antenna. It wasn't helium. I currently have that on the tower running mass chain and easily getting mass chain mesh core. Actually, not mesh. See, now you'll screw me up. Mesh core into Baton Rouge and into New Orleans running on that tower with that layered FG9026. I can tell you I'm running a bunch of mesh core repeaters. I've been taking down helium devices, reusing those 915 antennas. They're doing great, but I'm not going to buy any. I can definitely not go, not for, the Comet KP20 antenna is one of the best 900 antennas out there for $180, $170 for mesh. But mesh chain and mesh core, mesh has two different projects. And mesh core and mesh tastic, you're not getting paid. They're not crypto projects. They're just fun hobby projects like ham radio stuff. How big is my layered antenna? My layered antenna is, I think, between 5 to 6 feet, 60 something inches long. It's the FG9026. And again, look, I ran on helium on all my helium devices, and it knocked out anything else close to it. Uncle Sam will take half. If you live in California, State will take the other half. That's about right. Happy Canadian says Canadians don't pay taxes on lotto. Grass rust one of my accounts to 0. I had 1 million points in October. Support when I return 100 emails. I don't know if they even have support. I even wonder who's even running that project. Happy Canadian says, good to know a Canadian friend. Server starts at 1 million. I don't think it works that way, but okay. When D-pin train tracker. I know some very enthusiasts train people out there. Don't put it past it. Hey, B13 SR. Did you ever think we would have a deep pin tracking toothbrush? I joke and say, when's like sooner or later we will have a deep pin toilet paper that's going to measure your stool and tell you if your diet's off. Are you getting enough fiber? This feels kind of clumpy. Did you eat peanuts last night? Watch all the corn in your diet. Think about you joke, but whoever thought we would be having a toothbrush that was a deep pin project? Which is a new one that can swivel on parallel to. I know for a fact, because I have seen them on boats. I know for a fact that they have pole-mounted marine antennas, where you unscrew that bottom thing, that flat thing that's supposed to be meant to mount on the boat. Excuse me. That's what I get for eating tacos before I started. You take that platform piece off, and the pole mount will hold it on there. So, what else, guys? What else? So, I don't know. Let me ask you this. So after getting rug pulled on three projects, we think, I don't know, was do y'all consider the cat one, Cat in the Hat, one? Do y'all consider that one a rug pull? Because that one just kind of just slowly just set off into the sunset. Like, all the cats kept getting burned alive, and got to the point where really couldn't start claiming. I don't think that's another project. I have never sold those tokens. I don't think I've ever sold a token from any of the ESP32 projects. And there was another one that was back then too, but they jumped off the ESP32 project train. What was that one called? That was the one where you had to do all these puzzles all the time, and useless brick. We had all these ESP32 projects come out at one time. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, my live is way behind. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. If there's another ESP32 project tomorrow, y'all joining it? Cause it seemed like we just Entropy opened that door, and it seemed like you had. I'm trying to remember what we had. I'm trying to think. I can't think. Oh, I gotta add another ad. Go ahead, YouTube. Make your money, because I ain't getting it. All right. Useless brick is still going. But I'm saying, I remember there was Entropy, and then wasn't it Useless Brick? The Cat in the Hat in the box one, Irwin. For some reason, I remember Junk Corn, and then it was Flex. Does that sound about right? If I can't remember. Not Rug, just failed projects. There's underwear that tracks how much you fart. Not Rug, just failed projects. I disagree with that. But it depends on what project you're talking about. Junk and Flex were straight rugs. Is there anybody not named 619 OTA that disagrees with that? When you go and take and dump the liquidity out of it, or you even make an announcement that, oh, we've been supporting this project the whole time, we're just not going to support it no more unless something changes, and then you take all the liquidity and run with it, sell NFTs or take the NFT sales, whatever, and the project's basically shut down now, both of them. You can't even get to the junk coin. Is that not a rug pull? Hey, look, I'm the first one defending some of these projects. If you've seen my videos in the past, I tell you all the time, I get pissed when I see these people on X and on Discord saying, we got rug pulled by so and so. We got rug. No, you didn't. The project sucks, and they never could sustain it. Sword chain's not a rug pull. It just sucks. Nadix ain't a rug pull. It just sucks. It just can't sustain itself. Either nobody's buying it, they're not using it, whatever. Somebody claims Demo is a rug pull. How is Demo rug pulls been around for 3 years or 2 years? That's not rug pulls. Because stuff starts losing value over time and it just continuously goes down and continuously bleeds out. Nadix, Sword Chain, Silencio, Demo, Honey Gain. That's not rug pulls, guys, gals, whoever's watching this, right? I'm not defending the projects. I'm defending the term rug pull. But there are times where there are legit rug pulls. When you make an announcement that you're closing shop up or you're about to close shop up, and before anybody can touch their tokens, you've pulled the liquidity out, junk coin, and backslash or slash flex or whatever it is. That's a freaking rug pull. And then now you have people who know more than me. I don't have a way of proving it. I'm going to say this again every time I say this. But now people are saying that those two projects were in cahoots the whole time. And it just seems coincidental that they both pull their liquidity at the same time. When it's orchestrated like that, that is a rug pull. All day and all night. Twice on Sunday. Flex time junk. I don't know. Listen, I got people asking me like, what do I think about crypto right now and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know. My daughter follows crypto apparently more than I thought she does, and she's telling me just now before the live about crypto crashing, and my wife looks at me like all her $1 million dreams are floating away, and I'm like, I told you. Like every time she would say, when she calls everything's Bitcoin, kind of like down here in Louisiana, everything's Coke. Even though this is Diet Coke, we call everything Coke. Sprite, yeah, give me Coke. We don't call it pop. We don't call it soda. Everything's Coke in the South. You want a Coke? Yeah, give me Diet Coke. Hey, y'all want a Coke? Yeah, give me a Sprite. You want a Coke? Yeah, give me Dr. Pepper. You want a Coke? Yeah, Diet Coke and bourbon, please. My wife calls everything Bitcoin. When your Bitcoin hits, hey, you saw that? Because I keep talking about how I want a compound. I want a huge piece of land. I know I'm going to have to go a little more North Louisiana, Mississippi or something like that, because that's where they have big stretches of land at for a lot less money. And we always talk about it. And she's like, when your Bitcoin hits and we get that land, I want to do this. When your Bitcoin hits, and so the night my daughter says, yeah, Dad, I saw that, crypto's crashing, crypto's going down. And my wife looks up from the couch like all her dreams just flew out the window. And I'm like, I told you, quit saying that shit. Retirement. Luckily, I have a damn good retirement where I'm at. 100%. I'd stay for 30 years. At 30 years in any age, it doesn't matter. I started where I'm at 20 years old. 30 years in 5 months, I make 30 years. 30 years, you get 100% salary and 100% insurance for you and the spouse for the rest of your life. The problem is I can't afford shit right now on my salary. So that's what sucks. But, and then you can stay longer for what they call drop, and we're not going to get involved in that. And we have deferred comp and stuff like that. But luckily I got that because I've always wanted it to be crypto. I've always wanted to say, I wanted to be proud enough and tell family and friends that, yeah, like I ain't worried about retirement. I got crypto. I was invested in crypto and crypto did this for me. And I wanted to be proud of that kind of stuff. And that I basically accepted that shit will never, ever happen. Doing videos on Tuesdays and telling everybody like, hey, this is the number 2 project I'm in. I'm making 89 cents a day. And I just sit there and I put my head down. I'm like, this shit am I like? What the shit are we so happy about? Our number 1 project, GeoNet, is making us $1.30 a day. We're happy as shit with that. And we're thinking like, and I made $1 the first 5 minutes I was at work today. Are we gonna be happy as shit? I'm being sarcastic, but I don't know. I don't like. I guess we need that. I don't want to say that. Hey, let's just start looking at crypto as a hobby because it's an expensive damn hobby. Then, hey, go use my code to go buy a 4D Sky for $1,000 for your hobby. If I'm gonna do hobby, it's gonna be something that's not gonna make me lose the rest of my hair. Go and buy a remote control boat or something. Buy some more ham radios and hunting stuff. I don't know. Like, where do y'all lump? Are y'all really lumping? Are we really gonna lump crypto into investing, making $1 a day, making $30? I don't even know. I don't even know if I even added it up lately. $3.42 a day. I did add it up. $3.42. A lot. We're making $1.46. Hell, the only thing I can say I'm happy with is Earn App. And if you want to get an Earn App, I got a code below. It helps y'all, gives you a little bit bonus to start out with. But I mean, I'm cashing out $100 worth of Earn App every 2 weeks. But I'm also have 15, 16 devices running Earn App. And I have to tell people that because I have people who put one computer on, and I said this in my video on Tuesday. I have people who contact me all pissy because I only got one. I'm only getting, 59 cents a day or whatever the hell it is on Earn App. What am I doing wrong? How many devices you got? One. Well, I told y'all I got 15. I think you're supposed to make between $10 and $15 a month per device or something like that, if depending on what area you're in. So if I got 15, 16, 17 devices or something like that, it adds up. And the best part is they pay you straight to an Amazon card or the PayPal. Straight cash. You don't have to worry about, is the token going up? Is the token going down? Do I hodl it? Do I spend it now? No, you don't have to worry about none of that. But look, GeoNet, $1.46. We're ecstatic. That's our number one project, guys. $1.46. Oh, but don't worry, because in 3 months and 11 days, GeoNet's gonna F that up too for everybody. Because then what happens? Your $1.46 goes to 0.73 cents, which still makes it number one. Congratulations, GeoNet. But they got a halving coming up in June, which is fucking horrible. I can't stand yearly halvings. It's the most laziest tokenomics that's out there. Does it work in the end as far as not giving out too many tokens? Sure. But it's lazy tokenomics. Instead of figuring out a different way of doing it like Wingbits and some other people are doing. But then I said, you're going to 7.3. And then there's a couple of other ones that are having halvings also. Guess what? Entropy in 6 months is going to go through another halving. I need to drink. I need alcohol. Like, this is killing me. I don't think I got any more alcohol in the house. Doesn't WeatherXM have yearly halvings too? Like, we'll be going to 2.5 cents after this. So, like, listen, I know majority of my channel is based on deep pin stuff. Look, I had probably a record amount of, I think 30 was my record for live. I appreciate it because a lot of people watch my live, I guess, from overseas. I have a lot of overseas subscribers. So they watch in the middle of the night, and then eventually I have 100, 200 views on this. But I appreciate all the people who are live because I tell you, there's nothing more disheartening than doing a live when there's only 5 people in the room. So I appreciate everybody who's here. Make sure you hit the like button. If there's something y'all want to see or talk about, please let me know. I start running out of ideas and I just start rambling like this. I can ramble like this for another hour. I keep drinking caffeine and Adderall. TP from my bunghole. I'm just joking. But like, I know my channel is based on a lot of deep and stuff, but guys, are we really getting effing excited over a 40-cent rover? Tell me what, I mean, I understand. Look, tokens prices can go up. I understand all that. I'm not stupid, but they can also not. Shit, the way my heart's going, I might not be allowed to watch another bull run. I need to get it in now. This also says 3:40 a.m. in Sweden. God bless you, dude. I appreciate the support overseas. And if I was awake at 3:40 a.m., my wife would beat me because I always stay on the. I will get off of this in a little while. Meet up with Fluffy, if y'all remember Fluffy from the Helium days. He had a Bitcoin strategy or something like that website at one time on YouTube and stuff. But we'll play 1 or 2, 3 Call of Duties at night just to kind of decompress. We'll get off of that at 11 o'clock, and I will sit here on YouTube World and get sucked into YouTube. Next thing you know, I'm watching Metallica live from a concert. Who knows how long ago? Dude, me and my dog have been stuck watching Alaskan Adventures. I don't know if you ever, and I know like one of y'all in this chat, the Alaskan Adventures is every day for y'all, but this just intrigues the living hell out of me. Could I probably survive it? Hell no. But intrigued I am. And they got a dog that's on it, and I'm telling you, I'm just hooked right now. It's I could just sit right there. I sit on the couch, like they won't, there's nothing to watch on TV right now. NCIS and Mandy and George wedding or marriage #2 or whatever the hell that show's called. And a couple of these other shows we watch, NCIS Origins and there's a couple of, like, none of that shit's fresh right now. They don't come back out until like another week or two, so there's nothing for us to watch. But I'll get stuck on YouTube and just start sitting here watching Alaskan crack, and the dog. You see the dog right there? My dog, my little bitty dog, will sit on my lap and just stare at the TV. Don't bark. Usually, she sees a wolf or a bear, she is attacking the TV, barking, going crazy. It's the funniest thing in the world. But like this thing, she will sit right here and just watch this show with me, and like this dude starts getting into like all kinds of like snow and crap like that, and it's crazy. When you start, but look, I mean, I'm sitting here watching all this crap, like, I'm trying to find some of all the snow and stuff that he always has to deal with. It's just crazy. It's this is my life now, is what is watching all this. And I think part of it is we don't get snow here. We had 8 inches of snow last year, or 2 years ago now. No, it was last January, and we shut down everything around here for 3 or 4 days. So I actually didn't watch this, and what's the other thing? Um, 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 My TV Tunes. My wife just gives me so much shit over this. Super Friends, dude. I used to come home every day after school in the '80s and watch Super Friends, dude. With one woman with her invisible jet, I'm like, how does she not lose this thing sometimes? How do other people know where this thing's at? All kind of stuff. And then we've also gone into all the westerns I watch and stuff like that. But that's my life now. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, Robert, is it Roberto? Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming by. Mr. Olson's at work. 3:40 in the morning in Sweden at work. What's the temperature in Sweden right now? We're in February. It was 80 degrees. I would tell y'all what the weather was here in Louisiana, but my trusty Weather XM that I've been talking so highly about lately, I cannot get it to come back online again. I have rebooted my outside access point that it's connected to. I don't know what else I'm supposed to try, what I'm supposed to do. You know, it says it's connected in here. I don't know. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. I've rebooted this several times. I guess I'm going to have to go take that weather station down again, take it inside, take the batteries out, let it sit in here for a week in the dark so it fully resets, put batteries back into it, and see if I can get it online again. That's what I had to do last time. It's Rob. Okay, Rob. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you coming by. You didn't miss too much other than us going over Project Rugpulls and trying to figure out what we can do now with our ESP32 projects. I think Jay Styles convinced us all to. Can you, for the people who do like the Doge and Litecoin, I know they have solo miners that they sell for solo mining that. Can you run an ESP32 on that? I know I know I was sent instructions on how to solo mine Bitcoin, but some of y'all saying it's not worth it. But you know, I'm gonna tell you right now, I bet half the ESP32s that I have plugged in behind me right now. You know, see it? My 10 port USB port thing with all my ESP32s. Look like dreads, like from dreadlocks, like hair. It's crazy. It's look at it. One with a long USB for another. But I guarantee if I look at some of this writing, see, useless brick. The problem is I don't know if I still have useless brick on here if I have something else. So what is this? This is Irwin. What is this one? This is junk. This is my entropy number 3 miner. My entropy number 2 miner. This is no idea because I didn't mark it down. This is one of my Ashlers because the bottom base, we started having problems with the bottom base. Yep. And I'm too lazy to go through. I'm too lazy to go through all of it and figure it out and what to do. Seems T-Mobile does not have towers where my hotspot is, so I will have to change SIMs or lose that station. Bummer. You know, I saw a video where, like, some of y'all know I was dealing with these new cameras and for hunting and stuff like that. And I know they're not the only one, but several of them have these cameras now that Guard Pro. But cameras nowadays come with, you know, the old days you had when you ordered the camera, like my older Reconyx cameras I have, and it was like this for other providers too. You had to basically tell them, hey, I want AT&T, I want Verizon, whatever. And now the cards come with basically they're going to figure out which cellular to use in your area. If you don't have AT&T, they're going to use Verizon or T-Mobile or something like that. So somebody told me that there's a way you can now get those cards, put it in your devices. I guess you're paying a third-party company because you're not going to pay AT&T Mobile because it switches. I wonder if they got that available where you're at. I don't know much about it. I just know, like I said, I know it's getting big in the cellular card or the camera world. But I mean, you know, I'm sure but same thing with like the little radios. I was test driving the little radios for somebody. I forget what they're called. The little radios that work on cellular, and it don't matter what cellular you have. As long as you have a cellular provider in your area, it's going to work. And I tested it out because I brought it to my hunting camp. The hunting places where AT&T didn't work, and I knew AT&T didn't work, they chirped right up. Places where the guys who have T-Mobile at the hunting lease who told me, hey, if you go in this, because we have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of acres. Hey, if you go to this corner of the property, T-Mobile, like, we don't hunt any of those stands because we don't have cell phone service. The radios worked. There's sections on where we at, where in valleys where Verizon doesn't work. I went there. The radio works. So the radio's got a cellular card in it that is figuring out which one is the best one to use. There's got to be something like that you can buy for a Wi-Fi hotspot like you're talking about. T-Mobile just retired a 30 gigabyte $10 month plan. Big news. Now they have 25 gigs for $15. But it's awfully coincidental that T-Mobile changed that plan around the same time Helium changed their plan that pissed everybody off, that the fine print said they were godfathered into, and now Helium is like, we don't care if we told you that we godfathered you or not. Do your worst. Right? I don't know. Somebody else called Helium a Rugpull. Really, Helium was the slowest bleed that was out there. That tourniquet was on tight. But even with a tourniquet on, you're going to slowly bleed. Everybody who gets into a project that's a losing project, that's a Rugpull. Shut up, dude. I'm just exhausted. But okay, so D-Pin. Like, I don't see none of y'all give me advice. Come on, guys, I need y'all help. Like, what are we going to pivot to on this channel? Look, I had the most people watching live tonight. Even this, we're 2 hours in this live, and I got 16, 18. It was just at 18. It was just at 20 people. I'm just rambling, so people ain't gonna stick around at this point. But I'm more of a deep in channel. That's what other YouTubers called me when they were saying, like, go see Grumpy Dad. He's into his deep in shit, and I'm like, cool. I'm happy I got people saying that about me. But this deep in genre is struggling. I told y'all Tuesday night. I kind of look at it as we're coming into a third generation, third generation of deep in projects. Wingbits, 4D Sky, Mass Chain. I'm hoping that those, CapturGO maybe, but like, you're grouping those TGEs all together at a certain point, So I call it the third generation. The first generation was Helium by itself. Second generation was your Hive Mapper and your Demo, maybe your Sword Chain, but they never really took off. Let's be honest. You had to buy a device. But some of y'all, not me, some of y'all did very well in Demo. Congratulations. Some of y'all did very well in Hive Mapper. Congratulations. Rover, I'd almost put Rover in maybe, they're kind of 2.5. Some of y'all who have those Darth Vader helmets on y'all's roof, the light cone, I know you don't have to rub it in our faces. Y'all are doing very well. I'm hoping y'all bought it using my code, but y'all are doing very well with the Rover light cone. My wife would beat me on the side of the road and take a charge and go to jail if I try to put that on her vehicle. And I can't put it in my work vehicle. But for those of y'all who could, especially with Rover having this not new, but it's been out for a while now, but this thing where you can stake a certain amount of tokens and get a Rover light cone for free. Use it for as long as you want, a year and a half, 2 years, and then you can return the light cone and get all your tokens back out of staking. You have zero to lose. Other than I guess if the value of Rover continues to go down, but you still get the same amount of tokens. It's not like they're taking those tokens from you. So if you've done Rover, congratulations to you. I got the Rover Tarantula. Hunting season's over with. Went to New Orleans, helped them prepare a little bit for Mardi Gras and stuff like that. So I got a few miles in on that. But other than that, I got one meeting at the end of the month in Baton Rouge. It's been kind of slow around. Oh no, that meeting's actually in my area this month. So I'm not even going to Baton Rouge. So my Rover Tarantula hasn't really been doing that much for me. But I don't know. This will force me to upscale my sim plans. I'm thinking going with starting at 4050. Let me tell you, we started messing with some star nets at work, Starlinks, whatever they're called. Um, uh, if it's Starlink, you talking about? I have nothing negative to say about it. We used it at one of our really, really, really big festivals. I showed y'all videos from that in last October, and where normally at that festival, internet starts really having issues. Cellular really has having issues. Um, all the carnival gypsies, whatever you want to call them, we call them gypsies because they hop town to town, and sometimes they stick with the carnival, sometimes they don't. They all had Starlink, all that stuff. And I'm gonna tell you, our Starlink at our command post, we were watching LSU game, watching football games on one TV that was streaming while we were having our GPS and stuff going on for what's going on at the festival and something else that was going on at the festival, and it was all running it with no problem. No problem. It's I hate, I know some people don't like Elon Musk. If you just get over that for 1 second, you have to say the fact that now he can now offer, like in the country at these hunting camps, you would never thought you would have, on some very rural places, these farms in the middle of nowhere. You're not getting fiber to it. The fact that now you can get Starlink and shove one of them on top of of your place and have it in that, it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal thing for hurricanes, especially for us. We have them in these big, gigantic, tough containers, whatever you want to call them, the big black, look like the little tough containers that you normally keep stuff in, but they're like suitcase size. They're waterproof and everything. We keep them in the back of our, if we're going to evacuate the office or whatever, whatever this is, the thing is, in Baton Rouge, where Homeland Security is for the state, they have several of them, but as soon as the disaster is over with, it's not like Hurricane Ida in 2021. Hurricane Ida, we had no fiber. It was ripped up. We had no internet. We had no cellular, no nothing. We were back in the dark ages as far as internet or cellular, anything converted. Now you have Starlink, and you're just going to throw that on top of your roof after, you're back online. Not at the same bandwidth, but close to it. So that may be my answer for my station in Alaska. As I have more monitors to each station, wings, geo meshing, I will need the speed and data space. It's all about that's why I pulled my stations from Baton Rouge, my helium station from Baton Rouge and from New Orleans stuff, because where I was getting my internet connections, I'm paying more for internet than I am for what I'm getting back in helium. So I had brought 2 of them back for Wingbits with the hope that I haven't been paying for ISP stuff for the last who knows what for no reason. Because if Wingbits comes out at 0.0001 cents or something like that, Grumpy's taking 2 Wingbit stations offline immediately. I can tell you that right now. I mean, I'd have to do the math. My eyes are burning for some reason. I don't want y'all to think I'm losing my mind or something. All of a sudden, my eyes started burning. Probably allergies. Allergies are killing me. With it being 30 degrees last week, and now we're in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, all allergies and sinuses are killing us. Now if Wingbits is 25 cents, like we saw with that 10 billion token supply project that we found at one time on the live, that was better than looking at porn. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. And I'm a married man, and I'm gonna tell you, that was better than looking at porn. Not to look at porn, I'm just trying to say. When I saw that project at 25 cents, listen, I always joke I can't do college math in my head. I did college math that day. 1 million tokens of wings times 0.25. Carry the 1, counting this finger and this finger and this toe and this toe. Yeah. Wingbits has, how many weeks they got left, ladies and gentlemen? Wingbits has, if they don't stall again, I thought they would do a AMA this month, but maybe not. They probably don't do it. I would say they didn't want to do an AMA because they don't want to hear people ask about TGE. But hell, the last AMA they did, Grumpy was the first one that asked about TGE. What they were about to they're like, okay, well, I guess nobody else has any questions. We were 45 minutes into it. Nobody asked about TGE one time. I'm like, I got a question. What the hell's going on with TGE? Anybody? Oh, well, since somebody brought it up. Like, really? All these people asked about when mainnet, WEN, when mainnet, every other day in the Discord. Nobody's going to ask in this AMA when mainnet? Okay, I'll ask. So you got 5.5 weeks until the end of Q1 2026. They told us that they would be doing TGE before then. Those who didn't see, it was awfully exciting, not at the porn level, but close to that exciting. When you looked at your balance of wings yesterday, there was a glitch in the matrix, and they said, hey, go check your wings balance. And I did, and I had 2 point something million wings. I'm like, holy hell, I might be back in first place. And then they kicked us in the balls and said, nope, don't get excited. We were playing with the bonuses and all the different bonuses we're supposed to get because we've been hanging out so long in testnet, and it was like doubling it up or doing something, adding it all up or something. And yeah, that didn't last long, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, 3 million tokens at 55. Never forget. Dude, I could boot you from my Discord for that comment. But you're one of the more reliable people, so I guess I can't lose you. Roar says Starlink Mini lives in my truck. Best thing to have. I have a suction cup to my roof, my sunroof. You must not drive too fast if it's on top of your sunroof. When it's struggling, good time to buy. I don't disagree with that. The problem is I joke all the time. It's not even funny anymore. Y'all sick of hearing the joke. But I have bought so many dips. I own the dip factory at this point. I can't buy no more dips. I don't know. I'll be honest. I'll be dead honest with y'all. I got paid Friday, didn't buy anything. I just can't stomach it. And I know I'm gonna kick myself in the ass in 6 months or a year when vet goes back up to 5 cents. I'm gonna wish I was buying it at 0.007. I've been buying it before 0.007 and 0.006 not too long ago, whatever it dropped to. But this is what always happens to me is I sit here and I see a token and I'm like, if this thing drops 75%, I'm gonna buy all kinds of it. And then when it goes down 75%, you're like, I ain't buying this crap. And that's I don't want to get into this again. Talking to my truck. Yes, 619. That was helium. Yes, you're right. That's another one. I can't believe I didn't sell all my tokens with helium. We talked about that the other night for those who weren't here. We talked about how all the tokens we all had, 619 sold some. I didn't, other than for little different things and stuff like that. But at one point, I quit selling my helium because I was trying to build it back up after Hurricane Ida and buying all these 30 stations. So I was just accumulating my helium, and helium was at $55, then 50, then 45, then 40, then 35. And then you're like, I'm not going to sell at 35. It's got to go back up, right? The project's still good. You have Demo on it. You have WeatherXM on it. You have a bunch of projects. They have the cellular thing at that time going off of it, where they were doing their own cellular, not just the Wi-Fi offload, the own cellular, CBRS. Like, this thing going back up to 50, no problem. Then you hear how they bought out some cellular company in Mexico and 40,000 subscribers was switching to them, and this was gonna make the price go back up, and so you just held them. So now I don't know what I said the other day. I sat here and looked at my wallets like an idiot. I don't know, 1,000 helium, 2,000 helium, 1,500 helium, or something like that, and and worth $1 each. That's depressing. And I'll still say over and over, not financial advice, don't listen to me. I don't see helium going up. All the perfect recipe and the perfect storm to make it go up to $30, $40, $50, those conditions are no longer there. Nobody is buying miners anymore. Nobody is onboarding miners anymore. So nobody's spending that money on licenses and that helium on licensing. So you're never going to see that again. I'm not saying you won't see $2 again. It's had a remarkable jump not too long ago. Last I saw it was going up again, but it's oh man. Oh no, it took a dip. I'm still up 66% for the week, but it was at $1.68 peak yesterday. It came back down. Bearish pressure building. Who you trying to joke? Helium's net emissions have, well, y'all can't see that because I got the screen too big. I don't know if this person knows what the hell he's talking about. The move appears to be supported by a constructive shift in tokenomics. As recent data indicates, helium's net emissions have turned negative, meaning more HNT is being burned or locked than newly issued, reducing inflationary pressure and improving supply-demand balance. People argue with me that doesn't work. There's a certain person, and I hate to be childish, a certain person in a project that I'm not going to say the project's name, but it's my number one project, who personally believes that this does not work. And people get worried that project's going to get away from this. And we've been reassured over and over that the project stance is that they will continue with their plan of money going towards burning and all that stuff like that. So let's read this again. Helium's emissions have turned negative, meaning that more HNT is being burned or locked than newly issued, reducing inflationary pressure and improving the supply-demand balance. Technically, the token has broken above key moving averages with momentum indicators showing strength but not yet overbought conditions, while trading volume increased by nearly 60%. Who's trading helium? This is another, I guess I'm wrong. I'm like, who's trading this crap? Who's going to go buy a Wingbits token? Who's going to buy a GeoNet token? Yes, they got some investors that probably think good about the project, but your everyday traders, why would they be trading this? That's part of that. I guess I need to educate myself back on more. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being for like, what makes an investor look at some of these tokens and buy them like that? And I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about like some of these other projects also. What? Let's continue. Short-term holding above that converts to drop below 40, consider a deeper pullback. Well, guess what's below $1.46? The outlook is cautiously bullish. There you go, 619. The outlook is cautiously bullish, supported by both improving fundamentals, really, constructive price action. Pending long order. Yeah, boys and girls, I don't know. Don't know. But I do know we're going over 2 hours now, so it's about that time. Why didn't you come to my house for Mardi Gras? Oh, Emily, it's not. It's too late at night. Me buying my nails, hoping tokens go up in value. Listen, I hope they go in value too, because I hold a very big chunk of helium tokens, and you know, $1.18 ain't gonna cut it. $1.42 is not gonna cut it. Give me $5 again. I can exit helium with $5. I think I don't know 619. You think that 619? You think that it could go up to that again? gonna get in trouble now. I think helium could helium get $5. I think with a good bull market, I think you can get helium back to $5. I don't know. I'm hoping. I don't think you'll see $10. I really think if helium gets back to $5, I'm dumping my bag. In fact, if I knew how to do it right now, I'd probably just go ahead and put a sell order in for $5 and just let it sit forever in case it ever one day flashes to $5. 619 says, lucky to see $2. I don't know, dude. You were at $1.68, almost $1.70 just yesterday. I could see $2 again. I could definitely see $2 again because $5 when Bitcoin is 1 million. I don't believe that either. I think he can go back to $5 again with a strong when you see Bitcoin go back to its 120, 125. Yes. Okay. For those who don't know, Emily Ronenberg is my niece. So she wants me to call her Grumpy Niece. She wants a shirt that says Grumpy Niece and a sweatshirt that says Grumpy Niece. She wants to be the Grumpy Niece. And now my wife had to come in here and say she wants a Grumpy Mom sweatshirt. That's my life. That's what I deal with. Yeah, I think you can get. Listen, I'm talking about with the right. I'm talking about if helium doesn't try to fumble the thing, and you never know what's his name's gonna come up with and what kind of change he's gonna make and what kind of bright idea he's gonna get up his ass again. If everything can go down the road the right way, don't screw it up. Don't try to do nothing crazy. Don't try to tank it. It goes down the road the right way, and we get another decent bull market or whatever you want to call it. But let's just say this is all just a bad dream, and in a month you got Bitcoin going back up, stabilizing, going back up. Trump quits talking about stupid stuff, and I still say this is not meant to be a political thing. This is just fact, and I tell you this all the time. It takes Trump to say one positive thing about Bitcoin to reverse all this trend going on. Tell me I'm wrong. You get him to say something about we're going to put more crypto into treasury. We're going to pick 5 tokens to start doling out. We're going to, instead of giving out checks to families, we're going to start giving out crypto for, every kid born or something like that, or college fund. We need something like that. And guess what? We're back at 100,000 without a problem. Does anybody disagree with that? And that right there is what's going to get helium and all these other tokens back in the right track. Let me see. Stores of helium mobile like we cricket. So you thinking helium? CMH says when we see stores of helium mobile like we could, then know we're done because they will have fully abandoned crypto. And then 619 says why people are holding. There's no point. You can't pay with crypto. They locked my wallet on mobile phones. They're moving away from crypto. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. You know what? Like I said, I have held my helium tokens from, you know, 40, $50, whatever it was at the high, down to where it's at now. So why not just hold until it gets to $5 again? So you have 5270 as its high, 41, and it came back up back here to 960. Let's see, how far was it? Look right here. Look right here. It was down to $1.42, $1.30. So it's lower here, $1.19. than it is right now. Lower than what it is right now. $1.44. And then comes back up. And look, it hits. See, this is my luck. This is my luck right here. You want to see me predict this? Here we go. This is going to go up and it's going to go back to $5 right here. Grumpy sells at this point, $5. It's going to go up to 7. I was in there and say, I can't believe I held helium all this time and I sold too early. And then it's going to come back down. Let's see what's the hit right here. $9.60. Yeah, it's going to get 7 and it's going to come down and it's going back to 5 and be like, whew, I'm glad, I sold that 5. Hey, it's coming back down. I'm glad I sold. And then boom, it's going to go back up. $9.60. And I'm going to be sick and puking. And then it just comes straight down. So this is when helium rolled out in Mexico. So you did have an increase. But back then it wasn't helium, it was mobile tokens. This chart, I don't know what the hell it's talking about. See, I shouldn't have looked at that because helium's gonna go back up to $5 in 3 months. And I'll be like, I ain't selling, I'm waiting for $7. It's gonna go back down to $1. Tell me I'm wrong. All right. Well, it was a great live. I appreciate it. I had a great look. I got 21 people still. I don't know. I don't know if a bunch of y'all got your phones on or something like that. If y'all do, I appreciate it. 23 people. Make sure you hit the like button. I really appreciate the support. It's nice that if look, I'm in a good mood despite what crypto's doing. I'm laughing and stuff because I think when you get almost 30 people watching this on my lives, it's a good feeling. It shows y'all. I appreciate the support. I appreciate some of y'all guys who come here religiously every Tuesday and Thursday when you know there's nothing really to talk about and really it's just a bunch of us rambling. Hey, we're rambling together. I don't know if we ever solved the whole riddle which project is next on the rug pulls. I think if crypto keeps going, you're going to start seeing several of our deep in projects completely just dissolve and go away. How many of y'all doing Silencio with the voice thing? I keep trying to tell myself because I need the extra money right now with everything going on with my kids. And I keep trying to tell myself I need to sit in front of this computer for an hour and do Silencio voice things. And when I have literally in the last week sat down probably 3-4 times to come do the Silencio voice thing. And then my idiot self either pulls up Discord or YouTube first, and that's the end of it. And I'm stuck in the YouTube loop watching shorts of, like I said, Metallica and everything else. But I haven't looked at it lately, but I'm telling you, like Silencio, when you can sit here and read a paragraph for an hour and make $10 supposedly, you can make more in 3 hours than you can in a week with all of our projects combined. I don't know what they still have, especially if you speak dual languages and stuff. So, if Silencio can keep that up, I think it's weird that they're not paying Silencio tokens. That should be a flag. Do y'all find that now that we're starting to see certain projects fail, that we had this itch, this certain butt crack itch or something like that? Like we knew New Blue was going to have issues. We questioned a lot of things with it, and we still went along with it. And we started seeing some cracks with Junk Coin and with Flex and with these other ones, and we went along with it. So now do you start looking for cracks that maybe aren't there, or do you throw the red flag up even faster? I don't know. Some of us love deep in crypto so much, we're going to jump in the next project, hold our nose and jump in the next project with no problem. Right? Tell me I'm wrong. I don't know. We got to do something to keep ourselves entertained. Appreciate it, Rob, for coming by. Roar says buy the dip again. Tell you, bro, we can't buy the dip no more. We bought the dip. That's why we're all poor. Crypto's going sideways right now anyway. Where's vet at? Vet's at 7 cents. Telling you, this is all just one long trend down. I bought vet at 7.2. I'm back almost even again. Jesus Christ. Well, look, Valentine's Day, this went up to almost 9 cents. 0.009. I'm sorry. And our worst investment that we keep buying, let's call it Peak. And I know y'all can't see it because my fat head's in the way. Peak's at a penny and a half, going straight sideways. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with all that. Don't know what I'm gonna do. Hit the like, only 5 for over 2 hours of free BS. Yeah, you're right. You could be sitting talking to your wife on the couch the whole time. That would probably cost you more than what the crypto costs. So, did you get your vet NFT to mint VThor? Did you get your vet NFT to mint VThor? No, because apparently I have no idea what you're talking about. I hold all my vet in Exodus, which automatically makes me VThor for holding it. Not a lot, 1 or 2%. So I did not get my vet NFT. So if you can maybe DM me that on Discord, and I can also share the word on that. But that's first I'm hearing about that. But all right, boys and girls, appreciate it. Thank y'all, and happy Lent if that's even a thing. You know, whatever we giving up for Lent. I have not chosen what I'm giving up for Lent yet. Mardi Gras over with, and now it's the countdown to Easter. So I'll be back Monday. Like, I wish I was doing a video this weekend. I have nothing to do videos on. Maybe the Mass Chain 2X thing. I don't know. I'd like to be doing videos. I like to get the algorithm back in my favor. But right now, I just keep doing the Tuesday update videos and the 2 lives. I just don't know what else to do videos on. But if there's something y'all would like to see, hit me up in Discord, DM me, do something, let me know, and I'll do some videos. I need to keep in practice, I guess. I appreciate it. So thank y'all for watching, and see y'all in the next video.